JD Power is out with its annual initial quality study, and the news is not good for Tesla. Tesla earned the worst score among the 32 major brands JD Power looked at, while Dodge and Kia scored the highest. Let's bring in Dave Sargent. He is a vice president of automotive quality at JD Power. And Dave, we should let our viewers know who are not as familiar with the study that you grade these based on components that fail and feature that are difficult to use, hard to understand, or don't work the way owners would want. So walk us through what you found on Tesla, because you had to go through a different way of looking at it, just given the restrictions the brand placed on your study, right?
Somewhat, yes. So for most manufacturers, they give us permission to survey their customers in every state in the nation. There are 15 states where we need permission from the automakers, including California and New York, for privacy rules reasons. Tesla chooses not to give us permission to survey their customers. So what we did was we still surveyed their customers in the other 35 states and use that as the basis for projecting what the Tesla score would be nationally. So it's still scientific. The survey is done exactly the same way for every automaker. It's just with Tesla, it's only from 35 of the 50 states.
So what were the biggest complaints you found when it came to Tesla?
I think it's important to understand it's not really around that Tesla are electric vehicles. So there are very few complaints with the battery or the propulsion system. It's much more around more traditional areas of quality, like body panels not fitting properly, problems with the paint, excessive wind noise, doors hard to open or close, the trunk or tailgate hard to open or close. So interior squeaks and rattles. So a lot of more traditional types of problems, less so on the technology or the fact that it's an EV.
What I thought was interesting about the study is one of the areas you found a lot of concerns were around the infotainment. So we're talking about the touch screen, the built-in speakers, the built-in voice recognition. Are we starting to see these cars just too many features, too complicated?
For some customers, that certainly is the case. I mean, customers, for the most part, want these features. They want a beautiful touchscreen. They want voice recognition. They want navigation in the vehicle. They want to be able to connect their phone seamlessly. So for most customers, they want these technologies, but at the same time, they're struggling with them. For many consumers, this is the first time they've experienced some of these technologies, and a lot of them are pretty complicated. They may work well when the automaker's testing them, with professional engineers in lab conditions, but then you put them into the hands of normal consumers who are just using it as part of their everyday life. And customers are complaining that a lot of these systems are just too complicated for them to operate while they're driving the vehicle.
So a bit of a rough adjustment now, but how important do you think these features are increasingly becoming to car buyers who, are looking to these features? I mean, if you look at somebody like a Dodge and a Kia as well, did we see the similar type of features in there, but that they worked a little more seamlessly?
So these features are critically important for consumers. A lot of consumers' decisions are made around, the technology in the vehicle. Can the customer connect their phone? But I mean, consumers will give up their car brand before they'll give up their phone brand. That's just the fact of life these days. So it's vital that the manufacturers get these things right. Otherwise, the consumers will just move on to other brands. For Dodge and Kia specifically, they've both done a really good job of delivering an appropriate level of technology that's not causing concerns for consumers. Kia has been at the top of the charts for 6 years in a row now, and have done an exceptional job of giving customers the level of technology that those customers want. Dodge, the same. I mean, there are other brands who offer a much more sophisticated or feature-rich level of technology, and for some customers, that's what they want, but that's not for everybody. And some folks buy those vehicles and then find that the technology is just too complicated for them. So, Dodge and Kia are doing a really good job of delivering for their customers the level of technology that those people want.
Yeah, certainly to each its own, I guess. We'll see how this moves forward. Dave Sargent, Vice President of Automotive Quality at JD Power. Good to talk to you today.
Yeah, you too.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.